There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there. God, I hope it's someone while camping.
On May 21st, 2025, this encounter was uploaded by the channel Eleanor Grace Adventures, hosted by solo traveler and content creator Eleanor Grace, who documents her quiet explorations across the UK. Eleanor typically finds beauty in the remote, but in this video, what starts as a serene wild swim in a hidden Dartmoor quarry quickly devolves into something far more unnerving. Eleanor begins by explaining her plan.
Good evening, everyone. You're joining me on the way. Well, we already are on Dartmoor, but we're heading somewhere that I've never been to before, but I really, really wanted to check out this evening. I was really looking forward to a sunny evening with a potential sunset, and it's just gone incredibly grey. Perfect timing.
And that is how this happened.
We're off. Got my coffee. Where's my mic? Hang on. Okay. Shall I hold this? Shall I put this? Who knows? Beautiful grey evening in the middle of Dartmoor. I wanted to do an evening hike and I was looking on my All Trails app for somewhere really nice on Dartmoor. I also wanted to check out the area I'm in for the possibility of doing a wild camp on a tour somewhere, because I've never actually done one like properly before in the actual wild. And Dartmoor, yeah, Dartmoor would be very interesting to say the least. Whilst I was checking out my All Trails app, I came across this place. And it's an old mining quarry, which is literally, now I'm not too sure if it's this one or there. Beautiful hike with old buildings and stuff like that. Getting a bit boggy, but worth it. She could have just avoided it, but no, she goes right through it. People have said that it's a very unusual and cool looking place to go for a wild swim. You know me, right? If there's a very weird or cool or beautiful place for me to take a dip, I'm gonna do it. I've brought the stuff with me in my backpack to do that. It is meant to start raining at some point this evening, so to be honest, if it does, even better. Oh, this is a very cute little stream. This is lovely.
A simple evening hike through Dartmoor National Park, with the hope of discovering an abandoned quarry she found on her All Trails app. She's been considering wild camping in the area, and this trip would serve as both a scouting mission and a refreshing dip in what others described online as an unusual but beautiful swim spot. It's a gray, overcast evening, quiet and still, with only sheep and rough terrain surrounding her.
Oh look, I don't want to get close to them because I don't want to scare them. She's got a little one with her. And you're just peering at me from behind that bush. Hello. This place is very Tomb Raider. I think that's why I like it. Yeah, I know you do too. It's all right. I don't want to get kicked in the face by a sheep. Oh. It's all right. It's okay. Hello. Yeah, this definitely looks quarry-like, doesn't it? I think we might be nearly there. Oh.
After navigating deep bogs and marshy paths, Eleanor finally stumbles across the quarry.
Oh, you have... You have got to be kidding me. What a hidden gem. Oh, bless him. Right, I'm just going to stand still and let him run. It's quite eerie, actually. Yeah, I don't... Hello? 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 Yeah, I don't think that there is anyone else here. Apart from the sheep. Look. I really do want to get in there. I'm going to go for it. It's worth it. Forget something starts sucking on my leg. As gross as that sounds. How cold are we talking? It's not too bad. Gonna get over there. It's a little bit cold. It's not too bad though. There are a lot of tadpoles and everything around me and like little lizardy type things. I haven't seen any leeches yet. We're being joined by sheep. I'm gonna have to move my bags just in case they try and eat it.
At first, it's magical. The still water, framed by jagged rocks and overgrowth, feels like something out of Tomb Raider. Despite the silence, she decides to go for a swim, stripping down behind the rocks and cautiously wading into the cold water. It's not long before she begins to feel uneasy.
Oh God. The rocks are quite high and jagged. It's not overly deep. So you've got to be careful where you're putting your legs really, or kicking your legs to swim. Oh, this is so nice though. Loads and loads of like planes and military helicopters and stuff above me. There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there. I don't know if someone's wild camping and pumping up something, because that's what I can hear. It sounds like that. Either that or it's extremely loud, heavy panting. God, I hope it's someone wild camping. Anyway, Dartmoor is like a military training base. They do a lot of training around here basically, so I had to check the times for when they were doing that. There's various areas on Dartmoor where you can wild camp, and this falls under one of the legal areas you can do it. Yeah, it was coming from up there. It is pretty eerie when you're on your own. Oh my God, oh God. I can still stand up.
While swimming, she begins to hear strange sounds coming from the upper ridgeline, rhythmic, mechanical, like something being pumped or dragged. It's hard to place the source, and at first she assumes it might be a nearby wild camper setting something up, but the noise doesn't stop. It repeats, irregularly, always distant but just close enough to be heard. It sounds like heavy breathing or a machine. Either way, it shouldn't be coming from this remote of a place. Still, she pushes through the discomfort. Lizards dart through the nearby brush. There's no sign of anyone else, but that only makes the setting more haunting. She jokes on camera about someone watching her from the woods, the typical YouTube trope, until she realizes as she's getting dressed again behind a rock that she still hears the sound. And it's louder now. As darkness begins to fall, she struggles to find the path out. The marshy land that led her in now feels like a trap. Deep bogs up to her thighs, thick reeds concealing the stream she crossed earlier. She starts second-guessing every step. The rocks are slick, her boots soaked, and she's genuinely lost for a few moments, trying to retrace a route she hadn't paid enough attention to on the way in. Eventually, she reaches her car, parked on a forested road near the edge of Dartmoor. The camera cuts to her later that night, parked in her dad's driveway. Despite the safety of home, she can't shake the feeling from the quarry. The next morning, she speaks candidly. The place wasn't just eerie. It was oppressive. She describes feeling watched the entire time, as if something unseen was tracking her from behind the ruins, among the rocks, or beyond the waterline. At one point, she compares the sensation to another location she vowed never to return to, a site called Kennel Vale, which has its own history of mining deaths and dark energy. Both places, Kennel Vale and this hidden Dartmoor quarry, were abandoned mining sites. Both are now lifeless and crumbling. Both, she says, gave her the exact same feeling. Dread. Not like a haunted hotel or staged ghost hunt, but something heavy. A feeling of being surrounded by eyes, though no one is there. Fortunately, she got out of there as soon as possible because in situations like these, always listen to your gut feeling. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know. Posted to YouTube on April 22nd, 2025. This next encounter follows Morozov, one of the most intense and fearless paranormal explorers on YouTube, as he takes on what he claims is one of the darkest and most spiritually dangerous apartments he's ever set foot in. Known for chasing ghosts and demons across Russia and Eastern Europe, Morozov doesn't flinch easily, but this time, he admits he may have gone too far. Morozov explains that the apartment he's about to enter has a long-standing reputation for unexplained phenomena, shadow figures, objects moving on their own, strange voices, and temperature fluctuations that drop suddenly, even in summer. Previous tenants reportedly fled the property, and neighbors have complained of hearing growling through the walls. Morozov doesn't just want to document it, he wants to make contact. He enters the apartment late at night, armed with multiple cameras, an EMF detector, a thermal imager, and a walkie-talkie system connected to an Ouija board-style device. Almost immediately, the tension in the room is palpable.
Итак, друзья, я в этой квартире.
Morozov's handheld thermal camera begins detecting irregular hot and cold spots, but the most disturbing readings come from inside the kitchen and hallway, where temperature fluctuations spike erratically between 22 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius within minutes. Then come the sounds.
Я не понимаю, откуда звук. На мониторах ничего не видно.
Tapping, creaking. Voices too soft to understand, but unmistakably there. The microphone catches faint whispers that don't match Morozov's voice, and on playback, they seem to respond to his movements. As he explores deeper into the apartment, a shadow passes across the hallway behind him. Just for a split second, caught in one of the camera reflections. He spins, flashlight raised, but no one is there. In the living room, he sets up a trigger object, a doll placed near a temperature sensor. Moments later, the front door creaks open and slams shut. Morozov starts to lose composure. He's sweating despite the room dropping to near freezing. A crashing noise erupts from the kitchen. Plates are shattered on the floor, plates he hadn't even touched. He pleads with the spirit to stop, but the activity only escalates. Lights go out. The static screams through the radio. Whatever is here, it's intelligent, and it's watching him. After nearly an hour of sustained activity, Morozov has had enough. He says out loud that he's leaving, grabs his gear, and heads for the exit. Whether what Morozov encountered was a powerful poltergeist, residual spiritual trauma, or something darker, he leaves it open. But one thing is clear. He will not be returning to that apartment again. This wasn't just paranormal activity. It was something intelligent, something reactive, and something far worse than any ghost he's filmed before. What did you think of this encounter? Like always, let me know. While most people wake up to the quiet hum of a kettle and the promise of a hot cup of coffee, Dylan Panos, a guide and seasoned outdoorsman, awoke to something very different during a camping trip in South Africa's Sabi Sands Game Reserve. In what he thought would be a peaceful morning in the bush, he found himself at the center of a surreal and dangerous standoff. Dylan, a well-known wildlife expert familiar with the rhythms of the African bush, had woken up craving nothing more than his usual cup of coffee. But as he stepped into his small kitchen setup, he was greeted by the deep growl of a lion. Caught between his desire for caffeine and the presence of one of nature's most formidable predators, Dylan joked to the camera about his predicament. Despite his calm demeanor, the gravity of the situation was obvious. He was effectively trapped. Not only was the male lion stationed outside his kitchen, but a lioness had also positioned herself along the wall of the camp.
We've got a honeymoon couple in camp. And the lioness, she's lying right here by the wall. And we can't get even to make our coffee this morning. Very rude behavior.
The lions weren't simply passing through. The male appeared to be guarding the lioness, while she, uninterested in his attention, lay sprawled against the outer barrier of Dylan's tented kitchen area. He could hear the low vibrations of the lion's roars, At one point, Dylan questioned whether the thin chicken wire fencing surrounding his camp offered any real protection at all. With 2 apex predators just feet away, even his vast experience in the wild didn't remove the underlying vulnerability of the moment. What should have been a quiet, relaxing morning had turned into a high-stakes standoff between humans and wildlife. For several tense minutes, Dylan waited it out, documenting the entire experience. The male lion remained alert and close, pacing and occasionally locking eyes with Dylan through the thin window panel. The lioness, less interested in the scene, stayed resting near the wall, offering no indication that she would be moving anytime soon. Eventually, however, the lions grew restless and slowly wandered off into the bush, allowing Dylan and the other campers to breathe a collective sigh of relief. The encounter had passed without incident, but not without leaving a lasting impression. While the encounter was never aggressive, it was a stark reminder of how unpredictable life can be in the African wilderness. Even the simplest desires, a warm drink, a quiet morning, can be completely derailed when you're living amongst creatures that command both respect and distance. For Dylan, it was just another day in the wild, though one that ended up being a bit more caffeinated later than expected. But for those watching, it offered a glimpse into a world where the boundaries between man and nature are razor thin, and where even the most routine moments can turn into unforgettable encounters. Ethan Towers is a rather underrated channel, but it's known for horror-themed explorations, cryptid hunts, and intense overnight challenges with a heavy dose of unscripted reactions. In this particular video, Ethan and his friends set out into a remote forest to investigate one of the most infamous legends in Native American folklore, the skinwalker. The term refers to a malevolent shapeshifter, once human, believed to have gained supernatural powers through dark rituals. And according to local accounts, these beings often lure people by mimicking sounds, especially whistling. Ethan and his group begin the night deep in the woods atop a high ridgeline.
We are going skinwalker hunting. Don't know what we'll find, but we're just gonna go in the forest, try and lure some out, and investigate it a little bit. And if you don't know what a skinwalker is, basically it's this witch that did a sacrifice ritual to gain the abilities to shapeshift into different animals. And they're this big thing. I would recommend looking into them because it's super cool. But we're up. Would this be considered a mountain? A really big hill, like a small mountain. We're up in the trails.
Large cliff.
Large cliff. Gonna try and see what we can find. Now, to lure one out, you whistle, you say its name. I'm also gonna try and pronounce its name in the native language, which I'm gonna absolutely freaking fail at probably, but they show around. It's really creepy out here. Alright, I don't need a flashlight. I'll take out my EMF though. I tried looking into it and researching it a bit. If skinwalkers can communicate through any sort of equipment like the EMF or spirit box, I couldn't get anything. But I'm still gonna try. It's never bad to try something. But whoa, that mushroom's freaking crazy. So we'll start off by just whistling and saying the name. Skinwalker.
With only handheld lights and an EMF detector, they step into the darkness armed with minimal gear, a Polaroid camera, and plenty of nerves. Their goal? To attempt summoning or interacting with what they believe might be a skinwalker by calling its name and using whistling, which, according to legend, draws the creature out. Early in the exploration, strange signs begin to surface.
Bruh.
I can scan this.
Okay, what I'm gonna do right away, I'm just gonna try the picture thing. Because, you know, we've been doing the calling. Actually, no. I'm gonna try and lure some more first.
can't see anything.
I'm gonna stand right here.
Just leave right back up. We should take that
Skinwalker, Skinwalker, Skinwalker. Skinwalker.
Just really.
I'm gonna try and find the name. Shoot, it's not gonna work. Skinwalker, show yourself. So I wanted to try and say its name.
How about I just walk?
Okay, I got it, I got it. Yinal Lushi. Yinadlushi. I'm so sorry if I'm absolutely butchering that name.
Probably Toad.
If you're real, come show yourself to us. Alright, now I'm gonna take out my camera. And I'm gonna go up to the tree line. Skinwalker. Skinwalker, come show yourself. What? It's not working. I was testing it before. Why is it not working?
A wooden trail marker reads, Hardwood Forest, not as quiet as it seems. Then, moments after they whistle into the night, something whistles back. It's distant at first, a single echoing tone, subtle but clear. Then it happens again.
I heard that.
It sounded like a whistle, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sounded like a whistle, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's a whistle.
Sounds really far away.
That's what they do, and then they come closer. That thing is spiking too.
It is? That was a... I'm not sure if the mic will pick that up because that was really far away.
Wait.
Okay, I'm packing this up quickly. But there was a whistle. And it sounded kind of far away, like something whistled back to us.
Louder, closer. The group reacts instantly. Some joke, trying to calm the energy, but beneath the surface, fear is setting in. As they move deeper into the woods, they hear branches snapping. The noises grow closer. Something is moving. At one point, they even hear a bark echo in the distance.
I heard a bark.
Did you actually?
I think.
Skinwalkers are known to turn into dogs and coyotes.
Okay, then let's go.
Did you actually hear a bark?
I swear.
Bark back. Okay, but that is weird though. If we hear something whistling back and then a bark,
It was a very faint bark though.
that's weird though.
Another detail eerily consistent with Skinwalker folklore, which claims the entities can take the form of coyotes or dogs. The tension escalates with every sound. They continue calling the entity by name, daring it to respond. And then, something else strange happens.
Well, that was kind of creepy. So, whistling got whistles back. Then you hear like a bark, and then like running around in the like it sounded like that, but but like far away. But that's like signs of skinwalkers, like whistling back at a dog. Like the skinwalkers are mainly known for coyotes, like morphing into coyotes. And then the footsteps, that I just don't know how to explain. The EMF was going off. Do you have the pictures?
Yeah.
Can I have them? I want to check them. There probably won't be anything. Yeah, flash isn't good enough, but
The heck?
what?
I didn't do that.
Does it automatically lock?
No.
So your car just locked itself?
I pulled the handle. Is it locked?
Yeah. Why is it locked?
I just unlocked
The keys are in your pocket. Show that the keys are in your pocket. And his both hands are on the camera, and it just locked itself.
As they return to their vehicle to regroup, the car suddenly locks itself. No one had touched the key fob, and the keys were still in the videographer's pocket. Even stranger, they had just unlocked the doors moments before, and the camera had captured that clearly. It wasn't a malfunction, and the car wasn't programmed to auto-lock. Whatever it was, it triggered a moment of quiet alarm among the group. Even for a team that courts fear for content, this moment felt too real. Back inside the vehicle, Ethan reviews the night's events. 2 whistle responses, a mysterious bark, unexplainable footsteps, EMF spikes, and a car that locked on its own. Not to mention the overwhelming sense of being watched. Whether it was all explainable or not, there was no denying the intensity of the experience. While Ethan promises to continue his cryptid hunting series, it's clear that this night left a lasting impression. Because whether skinwalkers are real or not, the fear they generate when darkness surrounds you and the woods fall silent is very real. And when something out there whistles back, sometimes it's better not to find out what made the sound. What did you think of this encounter? Let me know in the comments. The YouTube channel OM has earned a reputation for exploring deeply unsettling solo camping locations, especially those tied to dark folklore and true crime. In this video, uploaded on May 20th, 2025, the creator goes to a remote riverbank in Indonesia, known for a disturbing story that surfaced just months prior. It was here that the body of a man was discovered, tied at the hands and feet, and weighed down with rocks, dumped in the river in an attempt to hide the crime. But long before his body was found, villagers began reporting ghostly visitations that seemed connected to his fate.
Oke, kita langsung ceritakan di lokasi ini kenapa saya akan bermalam di sini, karena ceritanya cukup horor dan cukup menarik banget bagi saya, teman-teman. Dan kita akan ceritakan secara singkat gitu ya. Nah, sebenarnya ceritanya sangat panjang, tapi kita ambil secara singkat gitu, teman-teman ya. 5 bulan yang lalu ya, di sungai sini, teman-teman, itu pernah ditemukan mayat laki-laki sedang diikat kakinya dan tangannya, teman-teman, terus dibuang dulu batu. Jadi itu mayatnya itu nggak bisa naik ya, jadi dia di dataran air terus gitu loh, jadi di bawah air terus gitu, teman-teman. Itu kejadiannya sekitar 5 bulan yang lalu, teman-teman.
According to local accounts, strange nightly disturbances started plaguing the surrounding area not long after the man vanished. Residents claimed they saw a silent figure wandering through neighborhoods, often stopping in front of homes before disappearing into the night. Many came to believe that the spirit was trying to communicate with the living, perhaps to reveal the location of his hidden body. Eventually, a fisherman spotted what appeared to be hair floating above the water's surface, bound and dumped in the very river a man now camped beside. Motivated by his fascination with the paranormal and the spiritual folklore of rural Indonesia.
Sebenarnya ceritanya panjang, teman-teman. Kalau di luar buku itu malah kata Jawa Palembang sana, teman-teman. Nah, jadi malam hari ini kita santai-santai dulu ya. Ya, seperti biasa kita pasang CCTV nanti ya. Oke, aku santai-santai dulu.
As night falls, he deploys a CCTV camera pointing directly toward the water, hoping to document anything unusual. What unfolds over the next few hours is truly disturbing. As he settles in, strange sounds begin to filter through the quiet. The creaking of bamboo, footsteps splashing in the water, and the consistent rustling of leaves. At first, these could be dismissed as wildlife, but the pattern and timing begin to feel intentional. Then, as he reviews the CCTV footage later, two chilling moments stand out. At approximately 27 minutes into the footage, a dark shape can be seen moving across the river.
CCTV kita sorot arah ke sana teman-teman. Ini barusan ya terdengar kayak ada langkah di atas air gitu. Ini sering banget suaranya teman-teman. Terus di atas itu kayak suara bambu bergerak, nggak tahu angin, nggak tahu apa teman-teman di atas. Ini barusan banget suaranya teman-teman.
Then, around the 34-minute mark, a ghost-like figure becomes visible near the water's edge. Standing still, directly facing the CCTV camera. Its posture is rigid, its form barely distinct from the shadows, and yet its presence is undeniable. For several seconds, it does nothing, just stands there staring into the lens before quietly vanishing. Later in the night, the host wakes to discover a cooking pot has moved several feet from its original position. There's no sign of animals or other campers nearby, and he had placed it securely before going to sleep. This physical disturbance, coupled with what the camera recorded, convinces him that something perhaps supernatural was aware of his presence. By morning, his energy is drained, the batteries on his devices have mysteriously lost power faster than expected, and he expresses genuine relief to be leaving. Despite his experience documenting haunted and spiritually active places, he admits that this encounter was one of the few that truly unsettled him. Like always, I'll let you draw your own conclusions to this encounter as well. This brief but intriguing footage may be one of the most compelling pieces of Bigfoot trail cam footage ever caught on camera. This footage was discovered by us during a deep dive into lesser-known cryptid content, and what it shows has sparked serious debate. The footage originates from the channel Strange Wilderness, and what it claims to capture is nothing short of extraordinary. Taken from a fixed-position trail camera deep in the forest, the short clip appears to show a large, humanoid figure moving swiftly but silently between trees. The figure's proportions, broad shoulders, long arms, and a slightly stooped posture, don't align easily with a human in costume. It moves with fluidity, not lumbering like someone in a suit, and its pace is quick enough to suggest agility not often associated with bulky disguises. The lighting is natural and unaltered. There are no visual effects, abrupt cuts, or suspicious edits. And while the footage is far from crystal clear, as is typical with trail cams, it lacks the usual red flags that skeptics often use to debunk these types of videos. There's no exaggerated motion blur, no obvious mask seams, and no out-of-place human behavior. It's just a few seconds of raw, unnerving movement through the brush. What makes this encounter stand out isn't just the footage itself, but the honesty in its presentation. The creator doesn't try to convince viewers that it's definitive proof of Bigfoot. He simply asks the audience to judge for themselves. With so many hoaxes flooding the internet, it's rare to see a video that sparks genuine uncertainty. Is it a genuine cryptid sighting? A well-executed prank? Or something else entirely? One thing's for sure. If the footage is fake, it's among the most convincing yet. And if it's real, it might be one of the clearest glimpses we've ever seen of something that has eluded explanation for generations. With this final encounter comes the end of another episode. You know what to do, but if you don't, let me remind you again to like and subscribe.